confirmatory referendum.
You know, the image of Britain for outsiders is a country that is utterly confused. We've got a German minister calling her cat Brexit because it doesn't know whether it's going in or out. You see that image.
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid this is what we've done to ourselves with this process. But the only way of curing that that idea of the country is to have a clear strategy for getting out of it.
But you're contributing to this. I mean, you do not have a mandate. You're not an MP. You're not in the Lords. You're not an appointed.
You are a convicted war criminal in absentia at Iraq, Tony Blair. This is... Guys, he is a convicted war criminal.
State of dysfunction. I mean, disarray.
He is a war criminal.
And then they turn around and they start blaming me for their negotiation problems. I mean, they're the government.
You are a war
I've
criminal.
been in power for 11 years. And what I'm saying, by the way, to people privately in Europe is what I'm saying publicly.
Iraq, illegal invasion of Iraq.
Last night is that politicians, broadly remain.
I will attach the article by
public with pity, as if they've just made
in
the wrong
Malaysia.
choice, and it is their job to help them correct that.
You are a convicted war criminal.
The problem with modern politics is that we got into this situation where people say to me the whole time, look, these MPs, they're a disgrace, they're just squabbling amongst themselves. They're not. They're doing their day job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, Theresa May is saying to the British people, if you back my deal, if only Parliament put aside its petty squabbles and back my deal, all this Brexit thing would go away, we'd have closure of the argument, we'd all sail through to a nice future. It isn't right. It's not what would happen. Her deal resolves nothing. And what the MPs are doing is actually what they should do. They're looking at the detail and they're saying Northern Ireland's a mess and the future relationship's a mystery, and why on earth are we going to push the country down this path? It's not in the country's interests.
Alan Johnson told me that when he worked in a supermarket, the motto was, the customer's always right. And as an MP, he takes that seriously. If the public tell you something, you act on what they've told you. Do you go with that? Is the customer always right?
I think the job of an MP is a little more nuanced than that. The job of, in a situation where you're talking about, we all agree this, right? Whether you're pro-Brexit, anti-Brexit, you agree this is the most important decision since the Second World War, right? How important is that? It's going to decide the future of the whole country for a long time to come. Members of Parliament owe their constituents their own judgment. They shouldn't just say to them, well, tell us what you want, we'll do it.
Should MPs then tell the public when they're wrong?
They should be honest with the public. What they should say to them, here is what the options mean. Why are we in this place? Because Theresa May has taken this kind of extraordinary narrow view of this situation and just said, right, here is my deal. If you don't accept it, then you're basically defying the will of the people, you're being unpatriotic. Instead, what she should be saying is, okay, here is what Brexit really does mean. It can mean this if you go for a soft option. It can mean that if you go for a hard option. What do you want?
But you've already said, you go back to the public and you say, these are the choices available, soft or hard. Now you've heard from the public. Many people who did vote leave say, we'll take no deal, actually, frankly. So do you go back to them and say, you're wrong?
Yeah, I think you go back and say, fine, you want no deal, but are you telling me people voted for no deal in June 2016? I don't think so. So my whole point is the moment you start explaining these options, it's when you eventually get led to go back to
fix
people.
this.
If it comes to an actual proposition and we ask them to confirm whether they really want
I'm so sorry, but I need to...
that will end up as actually quite a popular solution to this.
I need to...
And it's the thing that will bring closure, because that decision in
see?
the end will have to be fine.
We're in a mess right now. If ever there was a moment when this country needed spiritual guidance, it is probably now. I wonder whether, as a religious man, now, whether you ask
I'm going to look for the article that he's a convicted war criminal.
No, I mean, look, I always used to say this to people, you can be as religious as you like, but, the thing about praying to God is
you can still be a war criminal.
Minimum wage is. And I don't know what God's view on Brexit is, and I think it's not a sensible inquiry to have. So, I'm afraid this is one for the temporal and not the spiritual. We're going to have to decide what we want.
Yes.
one for the temporal. Tony Blair, former Prime Minister, speaking there. Let's take you through tomorrow's papers, then I'll introduce our guest, the panel. They've gone quite hardcore, actually. The Daily Mail has got 1,000 wasted days, that picture of Big Ben. Exactly 1,000 days ago, Britain voted to leave the EU. Today, incompetent MPs, hard Brexit zealots have made us a laughingstock, says the Mail, and now Brussels is telling us to think again. The Times has got May pleads for delay to Brexit as the EU stands firm. It's an interesting verb, that, pleading. And it's got a picture of just one story that, of course, we're all missing in this Brexit stuff. A little girl aged 9 who's fully recovered from a rare, inoperable cancer after undergoing pioneering proton beam therapy in America. Sort of fantastic news, managing to squeeze onto the front page in spite of it all. And Andrea Leadsom on the front of the Telegraph. This used to be the cabinet that would deliver Brexit. Now it's not, and we've heard about all those threats of resignation tonight from the so-called The Pizza Club. We're joined by the political editor of The Sun, Tom Newton-Dunn, Lydia Polgreen, the editor-in-chief of Huffington Post, and the associate editor of the Daily Mirror, Kevin Maguire, talk through some of the comment pieces as well. I'm just going to start with the nitty-gritty, Tom. What do you actually think is going on? What are the talks going on? Because we didn't have a government minister tonight. We heard from Damien Green.
I bet you asked for one.
Funnily enough, we did. There doesn't seem to be a plan. Maybe I'm missing something.
No, well, I think we're all reporting slightly different things going into tomorrow. We're reporting something which will probably please Nick's Pizza Club, in that we believe the Prime Minister is going to go for a 3-month extension. So this morning, I know she woke up with a plan to go for 9 months, and that's what all her officials were saying she should do. She then went to Cabinet and got quite spectacularly ambushed by the Brexiteers, the Pizza Club, saying, we will not put up with this. And furthermore, Prime Minister, the entirety of the Conservative Party won't put up with this either. So you will break the party. The thing you spent 2.5 years, 999 days trying to keep on board is going to break if you
How many do you think would walk out of that cabinet if it was a long delay?
It's slightly unclear. When you ask them precisely that, they say, well, of course, I'll need to give it some serious consideration. But the point is not really losing cabinet ministers, it's losing the rump of the Conservative Party. So tonight, actually, you can boil all this down. It's the absolute pivotal decision that she's in the process of making. Does she go for a long delay if her deal doesn't get through, which would basically mean a softer Brexit? That's the decision she's making, because it gets handed over to Parliament. Parliament has a soft Brexit majority, so effectively we're talking about a customs union under a long delay. Or does she go for a short delay, which probably means no deal, because she's got no leverage left on the ERG, no means of persuading them to vote for her deal. And that is an unbelievably appalling dilemma, the very dilemma she spent all this time trying to avoid.
Lydia, you're looking in on this from a US perspective, possibly the least fun pizza club in the world. What do you make?
Okay, guys. Okay, this is just whatever. This is me. And just see what. I'm going to serve myself dinner. So signing off. Ciao.